Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is a Firefly 5C. It's a Tier 6 British premium medium tank. It's located on the southwest spawn of Live Oaks, and it's under the command of Why Are You Mad Bro? Well, I think you're going to find out why people are mad at him very shortly. Game on. Well, it's the 17-pounder gun, 76.2mm caliber, capable of 150 alpha, 171mm pen with standard ammo. With the premium rounds, it's 239mm pen, and with the HE rounds, it's capable of 190. Now, he's gone to the bush to spot and see what's going on the centre, and I think you're going to find out why people get mad at this guy. Yeah, look at this. The M10 pops in, takes up his spot, and look what he does. He pushes him out in front of the enemy, and yeah, I think that FB304 on the enemy team realizes there's somebody there, and he's going to fire at him. The M10's really annoyed by that. You can tell that because he actually just fired one of his own teammate. Yes, so why are you mad, bro? Well, yes, because he's not a good player. And he's now been hit on the track by the guerrillas. So both parties are firing in this general direction because they know that there's somebody here. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit about the actual tank itself. They were built or developed in 1943. They built 2,100 to 2,200 of them. So they built quite a lot. The tanks themselves were built in Detroit, and they had the Chrysler multi-bank engine. But they were actually remanufactured in Britain, and they were fitted with an engineered turret so they could fit the 17-pounder gun. Now, the 17-pounder was the only gun that could reliably penetrate the Panther or the Tiger. It was a sniper tank. It had to operate at long range because, of course, it was relatively vulnerable most of the time. But it was very good and very efficient at getting shots on the enemy. In fact, one of the reasons why it got the name Firefly was down to the fact that it had a big flash when it fired, because it had a lot of powder. The shell was very big. It wasn't just standard 76mm round. No, it was a huge round, an absolutely massive round, which actually had so much powder in it to force this shell to go along at very high velocity indeed. And that's what gave it the penetrating power on the enemy. Now, it took a lot of work to actually fit the 17-pounder into the turret of the Sherman, because it really didn't fit to start with. They actually had to move the radio and stick it into a box attached to the outside. They had to give the loader a hatch because the gun was so big inside the turret, and they had to turn the recoil systems on their side to actually enable the gun. Oh, he's got his first kill. They had to turn the recoil systems on their side to try and still give it some form of recoil, because otherwise, all that KB2 is going to try. Yeah, he tried to hit us, but he failed, and he's gone down. So yes, they had took a lot of work to actually get the gun in, but once they did get the gun on target, inside the tank rather, with having a recoil, it was very, very good indeed. In fact, they couldn't build enough of them for every platoon of tanks that they had. So what they ended up doing was giving 2 Fireflies for every platoon of tanks. So there'd normally be 5 ordinary Shermans, and there'd be 2 Fireflies amongst them. And the Germans would try to work out which one was the Firefly, because of course it had the long barrel. And of course they knew that the Firefly was the only tank that could destroy them. Therefore, they were worried. If they saw a Firefly, they tried to wipe him out first. So they tried all sorts of techniques to camouflage that long barrel by giving it camouflage, which made it look as if it was a short barrel. Even to the extent of painting the barrel in such a way. There's the Bert. Unfortunately, he's going to go down. Oh, lucky to survive that shot. Can we get another one in? Yes, he did get that one in. And now he's got 20% of the enemy hit pool. Now their team is 3 tanks up on the enemy, so they are doing rather well. But you can see why Mavro's actually decided to go to the railway line. It looks like most of the attack force on the enemy team that actually went down this route died. Now, what more can I tell you about the Firefly? Well, the reason that it actually says VC, it's not a V, it's a 5. And the 5 actually denotes that it's the M4A4 engine. That's the Chrysler multi-bank engine. They did make some... Oh, crumbs. Again, another shot from the M10, who's not happy about us. Yep. So they did actually make some Sherman Fireflies. They didn't use the standard M4A4 hull. They used the standard M4A1, and that's the original Sherman that actually came out with the 76mm, and it's actually one of the old ones. So they actually called that the Sherman 1, and then when they came out with more versions, they called it the Sherman 1 Hybrid. Then they brought out some Fireflies which were with the Grizzlies hull, and they called those ones the Sherman 2C. And then finally they got to the Series 5, which was the multi-bank engine, the one that Britain bought the most of, because it had 30 cylinders. And of course it could take a lot of damage and still operate. Well, he's got that enemy M10 down to bang to rights. There's not a lot he can do to avoid getting hit. He's fairly slow as it is, and he's turning his turret towards us, but it's not going to help him because he is going to go down. He's out the game. Yes, so they actually mostly use the Sherman 5, the M4A4, because of the Chrysler multi-bank engine. And you could take quite a lot of those cylinders, or 30 cylinders, could go down, but the tank can still operate because, of course, it has 30 of them, so it doesn't require all of them to be operating at the same time. It was a series of 5, 6 inline engines which were connected together. Oh, watch this. T-34, and now he's got this T-3485M shooting him in the side, but luckily he can park in this area and shoot at the T-34. Okay, he's getting hits, but he keeps getting hit in the tracks. Oh, the T-34's gone down, and this is second to last. Oh, and now's the last enemy, the gorilla. He comes around the corner, and he's a 3-mark gorilla, and he's about to expire. Well, he does get a shotgun on this. And now he's going to go down to the ramp. Oh no, last shot. And that's it, game over. Here's the end of battle results. That was an ace tanker game for Why Are You Mad Bro in the Firefly 5C. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He actually ended up with 5, one short of getting a top gun and 1/3 of the enemy team. He got an arsonist because he set light to one of the enemy tanks. I think that was the T-3485 at the end of the game. That's why he went up so quickly. As well as a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, 5 for effect for doing more damage than hit points for his own vehicle, and a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this game. He managed to get 14. He also picked up the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and he got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And his win rate was very high, 13,939, which is super unicum and quite a bit more. But I think he actually gets a big D mark for the fact that he did push his teammate out in front of the enemy, which was a big no-no. You don't do that sort of thing. That's what gets you blacklisted by a lot of people. When they find out this is what you're doing, they don't want to platoon with you because you're bad news. Anyway, let's have a look at the team score. Well, he did get the highest damage, 3,407 hit points altogether. The next highest being the M10 RBFM. Yes, the guy who actually, I think that's the guy who shot him in the rear. It's either that one or it's this one here. But that one got 1,748 hit points. And in third place was the Fifi on his team, who managed 1,208 hit points altogether. When it came to kills, it was, yes, Why Are You Mad Bro? He got 5 kills in the game. 4 kills went to the Fifi and 3 kills went to the M10 RBFM. And when it came to base XP, again, he's the only player to get over 1,000 base with 1,604. 970 went to the M10 RBFM. 701 went to the Fifi on his team. So he actually got the top in all 3 columns. He fired 41 rounds in the game, but he only got 26 direct hits and 24 penetrations. His accuracy when he was firing at the bridge wasn't so good. He was blasting away and wasn't getting hits as he thought he would. 3,407 hit points of damage, of which 2,286 were at more than 300 meters. 7 hits received from the enemy, 5 of them penetrated, 1 non-penetration, and 2 hits by way of splash damage. You may notice if you actually look at the model of the Firefly 5C, the premium version, they've actually taken off the applique armor on the vital parts of the tank. The actual original one in the Tech Tree still has the applique armor, which means that if the enemy does hit you in a vital spot, that spot where they used to put those slabs of extra armor on, you might go down. You might actually suffer an ammo rack and go out of the game. So, yeah, be aware of that, because Wargaming deliberately put that in. They didn't put the applique armor in on purpose. 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 12 enemy vehicles damaged, 5 killed, and 403 hit points of damage assistance. Now, he did earn a profit in this game, only a small one though, 16,589 credits. He did use a lot of premium ammo, and he also got 3,128 experience points as well. But yes, I don't think he's going to win many friends if he keeps pushing people out in front of the enemy like that, because that's an instant no-no. I forgot to mention, actually, I was trying to explain, actually, why it says VC. It's not VC, it is 5C. It's a Roman numeral V, which is a 5. And that denotes that it's the M4A4 engine, or the actual Sherman type that they actually use. C means, of course, that it is the 17-pounder. And in actual fact, the Achilles is the M10C, funnily enough. So it is basically an Achilles tank or a tank destroyer is just an M10 with the 17-pounder gun on it. So that's just an interesting fact that having a C means the 17-pounders there, and having the other type, the other numeral, actually means which version of the Sherman they were actually using. So anyway, that's all I have to say for the moment. I could mention more about the Firefly, because it is actually a very interesting tank to think exactly the history of it and how it came to be, and what they used it for. But I'm afraid we just don't have the time for that. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.